right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of your franchise mode commentary with your San Francisco Giants here at the start of year 2. We have all of the rosters set, the lineups are set, the rotation is set. Your organization is ready to taste the champagne and get back into the playoffs. So I give you a quick look at where we are entering this year. So, pitching rotation remains much the same. Corbin Burns, Logan Webb, your 1-2 punch. Lucas Giolito, we picked up for that third spot, hopefully to provide some stability this year from our starting rotation. Kyle Harrison gets the fourth. And then fifth one for now went to Jordan Hicks. Some of the bullpen and rotation might get moved around a lot throughout the year, but this is the way we decided to stack things up to start. We're giving Cody Stashik the chance. Lopez and Barlow, Bummer, who we acquired in the offseason during a trade, are all here. Davovich had pitched well in his limited outing last year, so we're giving him the chance. And then Estevez as your setup man, Duvall as your closer, as he's been here the whole time. That leaves in the system Birdsong, who's been on the Major League roster the past 2 years. But as the true ace down here in AAA, we actually have a pretty nice rotation with Birdsong, Wiston Hunt, Beck, who's been pretty solid when he gets called up to the majors, Mason Black, who's a prospect for us, and then Ryan Murphy as well. That's about it. Like I said, there's a couple of guys. Mitch Bratt, who we acquired as well as a lefty, decided he wasn't as ready as we thought for the Major League. So we're going to start him down here in AAA, make him the closer so he gets some high leverage innings going in him. And then AA, Bryce Eldridge, again, a guy we could call up to AAA, probably will at some point this season, but wanted him to still be the ace down here in AA, get them off to a good start, have him find a lot of success early, and then see what he can make himself into as the season goes on. So that's the pitching and how that all stacks up. Again, offensive prospects, we really don't have a lot to worry about or pay attention to here in AA. A couple guys like Walker Martin at second and Artejania at short are guys we're looking at. Of course, Eldridge, the two-way as well, and Cackle there, infielder, kind of plays everywhere, are really the only guys to pay attention to. In AAA, Michael Bush actually didn't make the Major League roster. Thought he would be better served playing every day down there in AAA. So he gets the first base spot there. Colin Barber, who's a prospect who we traded for last year, gets sent down. And then because of Logan Porter being a Rule 5 draft pick, which I completely forgot about when we took him, he has to be on the Major League roster. So instead of having 3 catchers and one of them not really get any playing time at all, we decided to send down Blake Sable to play every day like Michael Bush here in AAA and see if he can grow a little bit better, have more success being an everyday starter. Vaughn Brown as well, an outfielder we've been trying to grow, is down here in AAA. So a couple of guys we could move up throughout the season depending on how the Major League team does, which leads us to our Major League roster. Theo Estrada is still our leadoff man. We're running Brandon Marsh in that tube hole. We think he's going to hit well there against righties, followed up by Yandy Diaz. Free agent acquisition this past year, Santander. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Young-Hoo Lee slides to the 5th spot. He didn't have a great year last year, so hoping to protect him a little bit more. We can always switch him and Marsh if we need to. Chapman, who had a resurgent year last year, gets the 6th spot. Heliot Ramos here in 7. Patrick Bailey, your everyday catcher, and Marco Luciano getting the start at short. Lefties, it's relatively the same, except Casey Schmidt gets the DH role. I know he's a really good defender, but he's not playing over Chapman at third. Luciano, we want to grow at short, and then same thing with Theo Estrada, is pretty solid there defensively as well. So we're just leave him in there as the DH to get some extra ABs, as he had a pretty good year last year, so we want to see what he can turn into as well. Everything else is pretty much the same. We have Josh Rojas on the bench, kind of a utility player. Brandon Marsh, of course, on the bench versus lefties. Logan Porter, Jair Encarnacion is here because of Luis Matos got hurt during spring training. So he's going to be on the IL for the first month or so. And then Rodolfo Castro. We could run him at DH, but he still doesn't have great numbers even because of that low vision. and clutch. That discipline's decent, but more of just a bench pinch hit bat versus lefties is what you're looking at with him. So that's your roster for year 2 here for the Giants. We already have all the training taken care of. We're going to run through the scouting pretty much the exact same way we did it last year and hope to hit on a few more prospects this time around. I believe we're picking number 14, so kind of right smack dab in the middle. Should be able to get a few guys this year. So with that, we can get underway for year number 2 and get this season started. So it looks like the first couple series on the road. Take care of that and get to the scouting. Here we go. So again, it's going to be much of the same as the way we did it last year. Thought that did well for us. So we're going to go and discover new pitchers to start. Going to go here, discover. Actually could use some more infielders this time around. So we're going to go discover them in the West. And then for here, we're going to scout shortstops. Just kind of run that for the next month and see how things turn out. We're going to take it week by week. So we win the first series versus Colorado, split the series versus the Diamondbacks. Double-A injury here. Place on the bench for now. Okay. Take care of the scouting. Keep simulating here. So we win that series versus the Mets, salvage it versus the Brewers. Split so far versus Anaheim. Okay. Off to a better start overall, I will say, are your Giants here in year number 2 season. So we win that series versus the Angels, sweep the Cincinnati Reds. Fletcher's got injured. Marlins don't look good. Hopefully we can split this series here in the 4th game coming up. And we end up losing that series versus the Marlins. That hurts, and I will go back and fix pitching rotation here, get Fletcher back in there. I believe there was another guy, I forget if it was AAA or AA, who also got injured. Take a quick look. No one really looks out of place. Just double checking. Yeah. We're going to keep going here. So we've got the Twins. We take that series. The Padres, good divisional opponent here. Theo Estrada got injured for a couple of days. We lose the first 2 versus San Diego. So we go out and fix the scouting again. We've gone through and discovered all the prospects. Okay, now we're going to send them all out to scout individual positions. We want to scout third base as well this year as we did shortstop. And then here we're going to scout center field. We know we have guys that can play center field. Actually, talked myself out of that. We're going to go to the prospect list. And we're just going to go through and scout some of the top players that we think would be worth taking a look at. So Thomas Workman will be that first guy there. And then Theo Estrada had gotten injured. I want to make sure that we have the best guy available. Josh Rojas, you can get in there. Why not? Casey Schmidt is hitting pretty decent, but we'll give it to Rojas. He can be the guy. We'll have Schmidt start there, and then DH. We can actually give this to Castro in case there is a lefty that we face here. While he's out, we get swept by San Diego. That hurts. Chicago Cubs are struggling. Theo Estrada's back, so we'll get him back in the lineup. He's off to a good start this year. Okay, get back to the sim. Mason Black's been injured for a couple of weeks. He'll be all right. They'll just auto-fix that rotation slot, someone in for him. Angel Felipe, I believe that's another pitcher there, goes down for significant time. Don't think he's a big prospect for us. And Braden Marsh just got hurt. So we'll take a look at all of that in a minute and see when Heliot Ramos is also coming back. He should be back soon. Let's see. Ramos, or excuse me, Luis Matos looks to be back a couple of weeks still from his return. Rojas going to get the start there in left field. I don't hate that. Yes, and Marsh isn't playing versus lefties, so that's fine. With the first overall pick in the 2025 draft, the Oakland Athletics, as they're still in Oakland, take Forrest, a starting pitcher. Pick number 2, belonging to the Nationals. Looking to come out of their rebuild soon. Grab a first baseman. And the last pick or not the last pick, the last simulation here, Steve Irwin. Wow, what a name. Starting pitcher going to the White Sox. So we're going to sim ahead. We're just going to look at who's available. Don't like taking closers that early. We have a really good shortstop prospect, it looks like here. Ken Earnhardt. Looks to have good numbers across the board. We definitely like what we see there. That guy was injured. Anybody else at the top here who we've scouted? Another defensive-minded shortstop, defensive-minded outfielder, starting pitcher. Yeah, I think that shortstop might be our safest bet here. John Duke, that starting pitcher looked decent. Okay, yeah, I don't think we're going to find anybody worth chasing after over Ken Earnhardt. He looks to be a pretty solid all-around player for us. Would help if Luciano doesn't turn out to be our shortstop to get another guy in here who can start to feed into the system. So that's our first pick. Starting pitcher here is not ranked. Another starter is kind of a little bit all over the place. Another starter with a little bit more of a mix there. Okay. This unranked second baseman has pretty good stats in theory. Third baseman here. Kind of a risky profile. His arm strength doesn't look great. And his overall might be higher than his potential. One of those types of players. Brian Ortiz looks to be a decent shortstop. More of a project probably, if he is. But still wouldn't hurt to have another one in the system there. Okay, so we got a couple guys. I don't hate the idea of going after another shortstop here. Again, he looks pretty solid defensively and speed-wise in terms of potential. Don't know a whole lot about him, but again, it's a shortstop, a position of need for us. See if there's anybody else that's jumping off. He's 18. Okay, McKenzie. I actually like the second baseman best. I know we don't really have anything scouted on him, but he's unranked, and if those numbers are true, he looks to be pretty solid there. We took a lot of pitching last year. Still a couple guys here available for us to try and take a shot at. Devin Harrison, guys, probably not much, but his numbers look like they might be something, so we'll take him. Yeah, and there's really not much left in here. Johnny Bean, it's a cool name. Another unranked reliever, 21, though. I'm just going to let the computer take care of this. There's really nothing there. That would probably make the roster anyways, so We'll just see whatever the computer grabs. And we grab 2 of 3 there versus the Dodgers, and we have a player in the home run derby. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at this. Anthony Santander making the cut. Why not? Why not play the home run derby with Santander and see if we can make some noise? So here we are, Santander. We're going against Jordan, so we're going to have to put up quite a number here to make it challenging for him, as the second one didn't get out. I think we're going to need to push the number close to 20 as we swing and miss. There we go. Start peppering me in, coach. Come on. Trying to pull the ball. Stop throwing them away. We got that oppo power, but these fans want to see some tape measure shots. Start pumping me down and in. Try to hook around it. We got enough on it. There we go. That one didn't make it. There we go. There's some power. Definitely going to need to get to some 440s here to get. Wow, that one was a bomb to the right field. Kind of threw me off on that next pitch. And we're going to take our time out there. We definitely need to try and get 2 440s to hit that bonus. So we're going to try and wait on a couple here. Really try and drive them out. That's an unfortunate miss. Coach is just peppering me down and away. Doesn't want me to yank any. 433. God, you hate to see the 430s. You're so close. There we go. There's one. Give me a second. 419. 408. It's a line drive. 436. Come on, we need that one more 440 for sure. If we're going to be able to put a challenge to Jordan here. It's going to be the last one. And throws me down and away. Only 15. Willing to bet that's not going to be enough to beat Jordan. Stranger things have happened. We'll see. Yep, and Jordan moves on. Aaron Judge is your home run derby champion. Longest home run, 463. Congratulations to Aaron Judge. All right, so that was cool. We got to see Santander hit a few out in the home run derby. We'll go through the All-Star game, get these draft picks signed. Let's look at the voting here and see any Giants to make the list. So Paul Skeens is your starting pitching from the NL. Pretty cool to see that. Camilo Duvall makes the reliever list. Patrick Bailey gets on the catching list behind the Contreras brothers. Luis Arias with his new team. Okay. Who was that for second? Xander. Austin Hayes in his new uniform. Still playing all-star level baseball. And then Santander. Okay. There's a couple names there for us. We'll go through here. Sign all of our draft picks as we can beforehand. Make it a little bit easier on us simulating. Let's look like the computer players, a couple of them. Okay, we'll leave those guys there for a couple of series. Now we got Baltimore. Ian Happ, so was traded earlier in the year to the Royals. I think it may have been the offseason. Now gets traded to the Phillies for a couple of prospects, one of them being Aiden Miller one of their star third base, first base prospects there. Looks to be not growing as well as you'd hope, but Philly's making a nice little push there. Ian Happ's definitely a great bat, great outfielder. Going to play well in that ballpark for sure. Signed draft picks. We're just waiting on a couple of guys to get uncovered a little bit more. Birdsong going down with a broken arm. That hurts. And I believe that means, if we're looking at this correctly, Mitch Bratt's pitching well, but Wisenhunt's also pitching well. But I want Tristan Beck up here, a little bit more of a consistent pitcher, and we can send him down once Birdsong's back. Eldridge has gotten his stuff under control. It's time for him to get moved up to the AAA team and move up through the system. So I'm going to go through here, change some of the starting pitching. Going to have to go through and look at the lineups there as well again. Okay, we'll check on the lineups here. Yep, so Eldridge was the DH. Go in and get a new DH here. The pitcher. Change all these lineups quickly. Okay, AAA, are they missing any other pitcher? Nope. And then we should be good here as well. Okay. Let's continue simulating here. Okay, another big one. Rafael Devers somehow gets traded to the Diamondbacks for, looks like, almost nothing. Emerson Hancock, starting pitcher, and A.J. Vukovic, an outfield prospect. I know it's a hefty contract to take on, but Rafael Devers, one of the best, at least pure hitting third basemen in the league, going to our divisional rival from the Red Sox. That's a tough one to see for us. We're going to have to be dealing with him in the years to come. We continue to lose to the NL East teams that are below 500. Oh, that is killing us. That is actually killing us this year, by not being able to beat those teams. So, keep simming along here. Okay, the Braves are coming to us with an offer. They want Duvall for this reliever, and then Iglesias, who's 35. Yeah, I'm going to easily say no to that. Mets here, we still can't beat NL East teams. Bryce Eldridge just got hurt for a couple of months after getting called up to AAA. So we'll have to go through this real quick. Put Jordan Hicks back here. AAA, I guess, win. Is there any other true starter in here, per se? Rupp, you can move to the long reliever spot. We'll throw Win into Eldridge's spot. Okay. Going to Houston. Now we should be able to sign everybody. Thomas Gonzalez denied it. Well, you're hurt, and you know what? I'll try and sign you again. I was going to say I'm just not going to sign him, but okay, we sweep Houston, and then we lose to Colorado. So interesting this year, our inability. Okay, Thomas, you're not going to be a Giant. Tell you that right now. All right, so let's get to the actual trade deadline day. All right, good little run there to close it out. 7-3 over our last 10. 58-50 is our record. We're still 9.5 games out of the division. Only a half game out of the wild card. So playoffs, I mean, we're right in the position we wanted to be, right? We wanted to be right on that cusp of a wild card and make things hard on me and Buster Posey and the rest of management here at the trade deadline to decide what we're going to do, what pieces we need to get. So let's take a quick look at what is available on the block overall, what teams are willing to part ways with, and what could really help us. So like someone like Jordan Westberg, who is a good infielder with years of control, isn't having the best year and might just clog things up with where else we have. Chas McCormick is having a very strong year there for Houston. Wyatt Langford might be an interesting guy to go after. I mean, he's a true all-around hitter out of Texas, but I'm sure they would want a lot for him. The Cardinals with Arenado is having a strong year, but then we have his contract along with Chapman. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A couple more outfielders here, utility men, Gavin Lux as well from Texas. Okay, not a lot in terms of pitching help, but certainly a lot of bats available for us. David Fry's an interesting one as he can play multiple positions. Dylan Floro, reliever. Dylan Tate, the reliever. Okay, Lucas Heel, starting pitcher, may not be a bad one to go after, even though I don't like his stats that much. Kikuchi, lefty. Okay, so gives you a decent idea of what's available. If we're really looking to upgrade, I mean, Theo Estrada at second base, he's having a decent year, but I'm not entirely sold on us bringing him back. So I wouldn't mind going out there. If we can upgrade this position, we certainly can, especially because of the season Casey Schmidt is having, who can also play second base. Could always move him in there if needed. Jung-Hoo Lee is a weird one because I don't want to part ways with him, but if the right package were to be available, I'm not saying he's untradeable. Yandy Diaz is having a great year, exactly what we need out of him. Santander is doing well. Heli Ramos is having a great year offensively, really helping us be in that competitive spot. Brandon Marsh, again, you'd hope for more out of him. Yeah, Casey Schmidt's been having a really good year. Patrick Bailey, even though he's regressing a little versus lefties, I still think his numbers are coming along nicely in terms of his statistical season. Marco Luciano as well. A little bit of a down year for him, but still growing overall. Rojas, good bench bat. Porter's here. Luis Matos, been a decent depth guy. And Chapman is just not finding it this year. And then Castro, of course, just kind of a lefty guy. So certainly use help there, I would say, in the infield. We look at what's available there then. Let's actually take a quick look at AAA at some of our top guys. Wade Meckler looks like having a pretty good year. Colin Barber doing okay. Michael Bush, not the greatest numbers here in AAA. Hope for a lot more out of him. Blake Sable all around is growing okay. Vaughn Brown, nothing much. He's probably more of a AA guy. And then just a quick check in on some of our AA guys, if anyone's really standing out. Not really. Okay. Let's take a quick look at our pitching. If we're looking to add something that'll really help us make the playoffs, I mean, our rotation could use help, but at the same time, I like our rotation, and that might be foolish of me. We could use help in the bullpen. Someone like Jorge Lopez is not having a great year, even though his stats look decent. Scott Barlow is having a great year. Aaron Bummer, we certainly could use another lefty in here. Jordan Hicks has started to get his numbers better as a reliever. Carlos Estevez is having a strong year again as a setup man. And then Camilo Duvall is again establishing himself as one of the best closers in the game. 28 saves, only one blown opportunity there. So, yeah, if we're looking to add, I wouldn't mind an additional bullpen piece. Maybe a lefty. We have decent starting pitching, I think, even depth-wise if we were to get an injury. We want to play the young guys, so I don't mind that. We do have Mitch Bratt down here as a lefty we can pull up if that's what we feel like we need, and then infield. So next video, when we come back, we'll go through the trade. We'll have everything done, pre-scouted, really make a decision on what we want to add. I think we will add. We'll at least add gradually to try and help this team get into the playoffs. I don't think we'll make any major splashes. We're not going to be going after guys who have 1 year left and are going to be hitting the market unless we feel like they're a part of the future of this team. So no rentals, only people here for the future. But if we can add and improve certain positions and it's not going to cost us much, if we feel like it's a fair deal, we're going to do it. This is all part of the plan to make the playoffs this year, be in the contention for the wild card spot, and make my job a little bit more difficult in this stage. So that'll wrap everything up for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you made it all the way through. It means a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.